Welcome, Reckless Wanderers. This is Robert here, and if you're watching this, you're probably coming from the old video that I made all the way back in Betrayal League, where I was trying to explain the Katarina fight, but actually, in all honesty, I had no clue. I was just happy that I defeated her, and I just guessed what was going on. I wanted to make this video because the old one still gets a lot of views, and people are still very happy that I explained it so well, quote unquote, but actually it was just a mess. So here's a more structured video that actually has the more proper explanation and guidance how this works. So each of the sections that you can see on the screen, there are timestamps in the video description if you're interested. The meaty part will be the arena explanation and the attack patterns and phases. A lot of times I will be referring to the wiki page because this one has the attacks also listed here. I encourage you to check this out. I don't know exactly which attack is which, but I'm going to try to explain them as good as I can. So let's go into it. First of all, for the preparation part, what you want to do is when you jump into, when you open the Mastermind's lair and before you start the fight, I would highly encourage you, if you are using any microtransactions, any character effects, is to turn them off. And that is because there is a very important visual cue in the fight that appears under your character, and it's really easy to miss if you have a lot of character effects going on. Another thing that you see me here doing, that's not what I normally do, is I have 2 life flasks because the fight is very long. It has some invulnerability phases that drag out quite a bit, and there are adds in between the phases, but there are not a lot. So if you're not so great player like I am, I'm a noob when it comes to technical play, then having more than 1 life flask is actually pretty good. So, and then we're going into the first phase, which is very easy. This one is the Forbidden Vault, and Katarina gives a little bit of a speech, and then she will start with her basic attacks. Those attacks are basically skull barrages, and what you want to do is stay close to her and move around her in circles to see where she targets. Also, having a decoy totem is really handy because she will target that, and a level 19, level 20 decoy totem can tank quite a bit. This phase is mostly to let her know what her attacks are. There was just one that was a bit more devastating, which is, I believe it's called the X circle, but I might be wrong there. And it's happening quite fast, so it's actually not that easy to dodge, but it's basically when these things appear. I'm not sure if the initial hit deals damage, but what definitely does is once it explodes in an X shape, and the X shape, as you can see here, does a good 3000 damage, so that one hurts quite a bit. The skull barrages, I never got hit by them, so I don't know how much they hurt, but I don't think they are that bad. Then when you get her health down for a bit, she will spawn dead Paranda's family members to piss off June. So that happens, and basically you have to, this is your way of getting some flask charges back if you use them, and you basically kill them all and then bring Katarina down. She runs away here. This is the first time she did this for me. This is very unusual that she ran in this corner. She should stay in front of that. So this is kind of weird. I don't think this should happen for you. But here she also does something very devastating, and I was a bit afraid that she would do this here. And that, I think, is called the Carpet Mortar, where she fires a barrage of skulls in a straight line. And they will, I think they pierce you, and they also leave this ground effect. And from a health bar, you can also see that this chunks quite hard. So she does a long charge up, and usually if you run in circles around here, you don't get hit by that. But here in this instance, I didn't really have much room to maneuver. Also, as always, in all these fights, June is with you. So whenever you see something yellow, don't be afraid. That's just June's attack. Watch out for everything that's green. That's the bad stuff that you want to avoid. Yeah, eventually, if you bring her down enough, then you can go to the second phase, which is the XP phase in the Unearthed Hideout. And I call that XP phase because this entire area, I tried to highlight it here a little bit, has 200% increased experience gain, and the Mastermind fight will be at the highest safe house level that you did in your Immortal Syndicate. So for me, that was level 83. That's the highest it can go. And one strategy is actually, if you're not so sure if you want to do the Katarina fight, if it's too hard for you, what you definitely should do is this phase, because there are mostly champion packs and rare monsters in this phase, and there are a lot of them, so you can actually get a lot of XP here, and the density is quite good as well. The mobs themselves, they are not too dangerous, so this is a really great place to get some XP. I'm going to skip ahead here because nothing interesting happens until you reach the end of the Unearthed Hideout and get to the entrance of the Sculpture Garden, which is around here, which is where we go into, so this was the XP phase, now we go into the main arena. For that I made a nice little paint. So the arena looks roughly like this. This is the entrance, this is where you come in from. Basically it has a sculpture in the middle, it has 4 big totems, and each totem has its own little area, and there are unwalkable fences shaped like this. So you can basically go, MS Paint usage, you can do big circles like this. I messed up that line here, by the way. So this is, okay, damn it. I tried to prepare this video and now this. Okay, let me quickly fix that for you. There we go, that's much better. So yeah, so you can walk like in a big circle like this, but I would recommend you actually walking around like this when you're fighting Katarina. Katarina will be over here, and she will do her basic attacks. At some point, there are the 4 syndicate members, or the safe house members, the current safe house members will be at each of the corners, and at some point she will release one of them, and after you defeat the safe house guy, she will go into a phase where one of the totems randomly will charge up. This will take some time, and during that time you have to fight her, and the totem will start charging out big chunks of like damaging energy waves in each corridor. So it will start like this, then it will start like this, then like this, then like this. And you want to move in that direction during that entire phase, sticking close to Katarina, because she will jump around as well and try to avoid those waves. And once one of the totems has charged up, so let's say this totem charged up, under your character, you will see in which direction you have to go. Then you have to run to the totem, stand next to the totem, then the totem will suck out your soul, but don't worry, you won't be damaged. And then this entire area becomes a degen area, and then you don't want to be here again. Then everything repeats until she frees the next safe house master, charges at the next totem becomes inaccessible, and you can see what's happening. The arena basically gets smaller and smaller. So once the last totem falls, you are in a phase where Katarina basically jumps around. This thing keeps firing, and the only way you can basically do is run in circles in that obelisk, try to avoid those waves. So now let's see that in action. So here you have the 4 safe house members. Katarina's in the middle, the totem is in the middle. Here are the 4 totems. She holds a little speech, and then she starts fighting. And she gets new attacks here. So this is the normal skull barrage that you already know. This one, she sometimes does in the first phase as well. She summons this big skull, and it will explode after some point. Pretty easy to avoid because she always spawns it under you, and it takes some time until it explodes. This is the barrage again. I try to jump out. And then at some point when you get her health low enough, she changes her outline. So she becomes fully green. This is the moment when she will release the first safe house member. So you see she released this guy. So he's now trying to kill you, and there's also some ads where you can get your flask charges back. Once the safe house member is down, this is when she activates the totem, and you have to do the circle running. So now she will also start to charge up the totem. You can't really see that here because I always try to stay close to her. This, I believe, is the Donut of Destiny. That's what it's called in the wiki. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is actually not that dangerous. Best actually is to stay really close to her, then you don't even get hit by that. If you're in that, it does little chunks of damage, but you can leech through that or regen right up, so that's actually not so dangerous. Then here, now you can see that the totem is starting this wave pattern. The wave pattern will cover the entire corridor, so you cannot avoid this if you are standing in the direction when this is firing. This is just a charge up, so right now there won't be a damage, but now it's damaging. So at this point, if I would have been standing here, this can kill you. I don't know exactly how much damage it does, but it's quite a lot. And on top of that, Katarina did another interesting attack. That's one that I believe Aisling does sometimes, where she casts like runes on the floor and they explode at some point. Obviously, you don't want to be standing in that as well. Now, this is when you see the big green explosion that goes out from the center sculpture. This is when the totem is charged up, and this is where under your character you see the arrow that points into the direction of the totem that you have to go. So now I'm running to that totem. You can also see the other areas, they are not lit up. This is slightly lit up. So you see that the border here is glowing a bit. And this is the very unintuitive part. Basically, you have to stand next to the totem, and here you see the beam between the character and the totem itself. Then the totem collapses and the area becomes a degen area. And you can see I'm basically half a second after that totem collapses. Okay, it was almost 1 second, but I lost like half my life here. So the degen is pretty substantial, so you should dash out of that. The totem is still doing its thing. Katarina is also doing a very devastating attack here that I completely forgot it existed. She will raise her hand and then cast like a spear. Throw that spear onto a location, and that location will create a degen area. If you stand in that, you're also almost certainly dead within a second. That's also really devastating. Now I believe she will free the next syndicate member. No, what she does now is the most deadliest attack ever. It is called the Volatile Object Explode. So she will spawn a bunch of skulls. And right now those skulls do nothing. Then she will cast a wave, which apparently also deals damage. This will activate the skulls so that they can be destroyed. In order to destroy them, you have to walk over them. Instead, I walked into the degen area that was there before the spear attack. So obviously I died because, like I said, I'm not a very good player. So fast forward a bit, back into the fight. For demonstration purposes, Katarina is so nice to do the skull attack again. So she casts the volatile skulls. They activate. Now that they are active, you have to walk over them. If you don't walk over them quick enough, they will come out of the ground and start chasing you like volatile dead orbs, and they will kill you when they get you. The only way that they don't kill you is if you are walking over them and walk away while they are still sticking in the ground. Very important. So I'm walking over them here and I'm trying to get them all to explode. If like one of them chases you, it's not that bad. They deal like 500 damage, but if it's like 3 or 4, so now you can see now he freed himself, and there's like 3 others, and they will keep walking. And they are not very easy to see, and once they get to you, they will deal a lot of damage. So there's still like a bunch of them here that I forgot, and once wait for it, now they touch me, full life, bam, that was like 3 or 4 of them. So make sure you get all them skulls. So now I could say I died just for demonstration purposes, but no, I actually just did not see them. I thought I got them all and died there. Yeah. Back into the action. I think we've seen all her attacks now. We're back into the phase where she's charging one of the totems, and the sculpture in the middle is doing the rotation thing. So I'm keeping an eye on that and trying to stay close to her while running circles around the sculpture in the middle to avoid the waves. The waves get faster, by the way, between each phase. So each phase you have to like run around in circles quicker. Really pays to have a good movement skill like Smoke Mine or Flame Dash. So now the next totem is active. Again, you can see the arrow here that tells me where to go. Stand next to the thing, wait for it to expire, jump out because the degen kills you. By the way, during that time, when you have that arrow under you, Katarina is immune to damage. You cannot damage her, so it pays off to do that as quick as possible. Now's the next skull phase. I think now I do it a little bit more thoroughly, getting most of them. I hope. I think I still die 1 time during that fight. I have 2 totems left that need to die and 2 syndicate members, I think. Or was it 1? No, it's actually just 1. I talked so much that I missed. Ah, no, it's 2. Okay, yeah, it's the bottom one and this one right here. So they will die. Syndicate members are not that bad. They're way less dangerous than when you encounter them in maps because there are no map mods here. Katarina and all her ground effects are way worse. Obviously, it also doesn't help here that I'm playing Caustic Arrow with the Celestial effect. I should have turned that off, really. That would have made the fight a little bit easier. Like in general, like if you want to see things in this fight, just turn all microtransactions off. It's the best thing. Probably not something that GGG wants to hear, but for visual clarity, it's probably the best thing that you can do. All right, we should be getting close to the end here. There's one more safe house member to kill. So this is a totem one totem that needs to charge up. Totem in the middle is doing its thing. There's the green wave, which tells me the totem is ready. Now this can expire. And we're entering the final phase. So 1 safe house member left, only 1 safe area left, the totem up here. If this goes down, she will still be at full health because between every phase she heals. So that's slightly annoying. So bringing her health down in each phase makes you feel like she actually doesn't have so much health, but since you have to bring her health down 4 or 5 times, I don't think she has as much health as Shaper, but it definitely feels like she has a lot if you combine everything. All right, so now the last safe house member is down. She's starting to charge the totem. There we go. The thing in the middle starts again. And now this is the fastest it will actually go. This is actually fairly slow. They made the fight a lot easier. In 3.6, the thing in the middle would do its waves much, much faster. In the last phase, it was very, very hard to dodge that thing. But the rest should be fairly straightforward. By now she also did all her attacks, which again, I don't really know. The naming in the wiki is kind of ambiguous. And of course I had to tank that one at the very end, because why not? And there should be the Carl. Yeah. When that's over, June will hold her speech, and then I don't know why I was doing those movements. Then all the safe houses will become accessible. And that's very important. So you get the loot from Katarina, which for some reason for me spawned somewhere else. And then you can take any of those exits and oh no, one of the three, because this one is the exit to the Unearthed Hideout, and it will lead you to the safe house where you will get the rewards for each of the 4 safe house leaders that were there before. So it, to speak of the final point of this video, which is the conclusion, if this is all worth it. If you are farming for a Katarina-specific unique, like the headpiece, the Alien Dawn, or the Cinder Swallow urn, I guess it's worth it. The safe house rewards, they can be really juicy because you get the rewards of 4 safe house leaders and everything based on how they're juiced up. And if you put like 3-star generals in each safe house at the point in time when you fight Katarina, this can be very lucrative. However, what really sucks is, and I can probably show this by turning to PoE, and how about that? I actually don't even have the game running. What happens is that when you defeat Katarina, it not only resets the Mastermind XP, which is not that bad. Hey, why is this not full screen? Options, windowed. What is this? By the way, Delirium, PogChamp, looking forward to that. So not only does it reset the Mastermind XP, which is not that bad. Farming Mastermind XP is actually fairly quick now compared to how it was before. But the worst thing is this, the reset of the entire chart and all relationships. It, for some odd reason, keeps the safe house XP. I don't know why that is, but everything else resets, and that just sucks. And I don't know if you only do the XP phase, if this is different. So I did it a few times during the league, but I didn't pay attention. So if someone actually could point this out in the comments, please let me know. But this alone makes the Mastermind Fight not worth it. I really wish that GGG would find a way that if you defeat her, that all the XP resets, but the members and the relationships stay the same. That would be amazing. Maybe kick the leaders out and let the ones that are after that jump into the leaders, because the leaders you obviously kill during the fight. But that it resets everything is just not cool. Yeah, but that's it. I hope that's a little bit more helpful than my first video, although this one is really long. And yeah, hope to see you in Delirium. Bye bye.